Unfortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
A quick video on what happens when you say Black Lives Matter, since you think Black Lives Matter. This is what you're really saying. Let's look up the definition of black.
Ain't no strange reason that Puerto Ricans are considered blacks now.
You're saying pale lives matter, pale lives matter, pale lives matter, when it's the pale people that's really killing you. And guess who you are? You're the Americans, the copper-colored races. So the black people are killing the Americans.
What's said? It was said. It's your boy Signs for the Conscious Mind. We here about to drop these gems with another indigenous video. Now, as you can tell, he pulled out the dictionary and he showed you. You cannot argue with what he just showed you in a dictionary. I hate when people be trying to argue the definition of a word when you didn't even create the fucking word. So how would you know what they mean? So, black in the dictionary means pale, bleached. That's one. For two, the definition of American is coppered, colored. Three, they only called indigenous Americans Negro. Christopher Columbus stepped off his boat and he seen the Indians. He called them Negroes. Negro is an adjective meaning black. It's an adjective meaning black, meaning they was describing. It don't even mean, it means black, but they really mean like dark-skinned person. So when he stepped off and he seen all the Indians, he was like, these are Negro Indians, meaning these are dark-skinned Indians. These are black Indians when you translate Negro into English, because they both are the same word. They're just in different languages. If you go to Mexico, they're going to call you a Negro. It's no different than you coming over here and they calling you black. It's the same word, just a different language. Y'all going to get this work. So, with that being said, if you hate being called a Negro, then you should hate being called black. Because they're the same fucking word. It's an adjective that's describing a person, place, or thing. That's what an adjective is. It's describing something. A noun is a person, place, or thing. You understand me? So, with that being said, let's keep this video going. Sounds for the conscious mind. How many of y'all know the difference between immigrants? There's one that's spelled with the E. There's one that's spelled with the I. How many of y'all know? Okay. The one that's spelled with the E I just showed you is when they remove a person from one region of a country, not continent, country, and they move them to another region of the same country. I say that to say this. North America. These people, you gotta understand that when they was teaching us in school and shit about the continents and shit like that, they was teaching us white supremacy, education, composery shit, bro. How the fuck can North America be its own continent and South America be its own continent when they're both part of one landmass called America? It's no different than North Africa, South Africa is still part of one big ass landmass called Africa. It's no different than motherfucking the west end of Louisville to the east end of Louisville. It's all part of the same city. You feel me? Country, county, state, region, it's all this, you know what I'm saying? So all they did was move indigenous people, our ancestors, from one area of the country or region and brought them to another one. Christopher Columbus landed in the West Indies and made it to South America. So moving those people from there up to North America, that would be immigration with the E. So, back in the 1700s, when they was building these 13 colonies or some shit like that, when they was building these colonies, back then, did you know that Mexico stretched from damn near Central America all the way up to Canada? It stretched all the way up. I mean, talking about the Midwest, West, North, and all that. The 13 colonies only bordered the east side of North America. You understand? Peep game. Peep game, man. So if all that was Mexico, then how did Mexicans get this? Y'all gonna get this word, man. Now, let me teach you about immigration with the I. We pretty much know what immigration with the I is. It's when a person leaves their continent and comes all the way over to a whole new continent, new region, and all that type of stuff, seeking permanent settlement. That's what an immigrant is. So, my thing is this. How can we call Mexicans immigrants when Mexico is 5 minutes from Texas? Which means that Mexico is in North America. And even if y'all say it's Central America and South America, it's still America. So that means they're not immigrants. They're still in America. I told y'all, America is one big ass landmass. There's a north, south, east, and west to that thing. And it's funny, it's gonna fuck y'all up when y'all find out where East America is and West America is. It's gonna fuck y'all up when I get to that point in this video. But you stay on top. Mexicans can't be immigrants. They've been here the whole time. They Americans, bruh. They Americans. Just because some fancy ass white person put that shit in a fucking book, that don't mean that's what the fuck it is, man. I'm trying to tell y'all, bro. God did not give these people authority over the earth, my nigga. We are going off of people's opinions. Educated guesses. This shit ain't real. It's a fucking imaginary line. This shit ain't real. Y'all better wake up. Like, real talk, you wake up. You calling them immigrants just because the news and the media call them immigrants. Y'all niggas is slow as fuck. And it kills me because it be white people. Y'all be the main ones calling people immigrants when y'all are the real immigrants. Y'all came from fucking Europe, and the Caucasus Mountain, and Russia, and Scotland, and all that shit. Y'all the real immigrants. Y'all settled in South America, South Africa, and want to call yourself Africans because y'all was born there. No, nigga, you still a European. If a nigga test your blood, that bitch gonna come back Caucasus Mountain, nigga. Kills me. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit, bro. If nobody else gonna say it, it's bullshit. I'ma say it. Because that's that culture vulture leeching bullshit, bro. Wanna fit in. No, bro. No. No, 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 no. 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 My people tired of this shit. I'm sick of this shit too. I'm sick of it because every time one of my people say that we got our grandmother's Indian or we got indigenous in our blood and shit, niggas look at us and can't believe that shit, even though the definition is copper color. But a white person can say that they got Indian in their blood and motherfuckers will believe that shit and they ain't got that one lick of fucking copper in their hair. Their hair ain't like wool, my nigga. Niggas can't even tell you the fucking language. Niggas can't cook Indian food. What I tell y'all that Indian food was cornbread. It used to be called Indian bread, mac and cheese, oxtails, collard greens, black eyed peas, corn on the cob. All this shit, bro. Rabbit, duck, turkey, bro. That's indigenous American food. Sweet potato pie, apple pie. Our grandmothers been cooking this shit for eons because they learned from their grandparents and their grandparents learned from their grandparents and their grandparents learned from their grandparents and their grandparents. You see, Just because they took us out of history, they can't take it out your DNA. Our people we have traditions and cultures, and we've been doing it for years and years and years. But ye don't know thyself. Signs are for the conscious mind. Let's go. Oh. That slide is there's a thing called controlled language. A lot of people don't know. Y'all should look it up. Controlled language. There's a reason why white folks get mad when people speak a different language around them. And they always like, speak English. They do all that old bullshit. It's called controlled language. They want to control everything, even the language. If they can wipe out everybody's native language, they will. They will. And the new mule that they talking about, it's a lot of the essays and a lot of the West Indians and all that, because you got to think Creole is a mixture of all languages, pretty much, from Portuguese to Spanish, which is a form of Portugal, which all is a form of Latin, which all traces back to Greek and Greece, and but Creole is a mixture of Portuguese, Portugal, Spanish, Spain, Ireland, Irish, British, French. You got a lot of indigenous languages tied into it still to this day. So a lot of my Creole folks who be speaking it, yeah, we be speaking a lot of our indigenous languages still to this day. And a lot of us don't know because they took our ancestors and our elders from us a long time ago. But that's why Big Dog here. We're going to touch on that. Probably next video, or if I got time at the end of this video, we're going to touch on that too. But I say it's a total of like 6-7 languages that makes the Creole language. Now, Africans. Everybody love to say Africans went through slavery and they had it worse than us and shit. Okay, Africans did go through slavery, but they also still kept their heritage, their culture, their language, and traditions. And I wondered why. Why are we the only ones on this side of the earth don't know our fucking language? We don't know our culture or heritage, but we innately know our culture and heritage, if you dig what I'm saying. You never noticed that? So, we the only ones who ain't got no language. And I feel like if Africans did come over here, they pride themselves on keeping their culture alive. Even when they was getting beat, whipped, and killed, they was gonna keep that shit going by all means necessary. Nobody over here, grandparents or great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents or great-great-great-great-grandparents or great-great-grandparents speak anything African. They don't speak Swahili. They don't speak Zimbabwean. They don't speak Nigerian. They don't speak Ethiopian. They don't speak Arabic, Aramaic. They don't speak none of that. Yo, if you sat down with your grandmother today, I'm talking about a real grandmama. I ain't talking about these young ass grandmamas who don't know shit. I'm talking about a real grandmother. If you sit down with your real grandmother or your real great grandmother and just talk to them and snap peas and beans with them and just talk to them about the family, you would never, ever hear any African stories, any African traditions, any African cultures, any African languages. Nothing. It's because you're not African. Your grandmother and great-grandmother would tell you that you're indigenous and Indians quick as motherfucker. And they would tell you what tribe, where the tribe came from, what language they spoke, and all that. They would really get down into description about your family that they grew up with before your ass was born. Your ungrateful ass was born. They will. But a lot of y'all don't know that because none of y'all ever sat down with y'all fucking grandmamas. Y'all don't. I can tell y'all don't. Hell, the morality of our people can tell that we ain't never sit down with our grandparents. You heard me?
Hayes.
With our grandparents, you heard me? So, but you know, it's called controlled language. They had to take your language for a reason. Because if you knew your language, at least, you would know that you were indigenous American. You put us in the kitchen with an African, bro. We will outcook them.
Preparing to move north, there was still some work in the bean fields. Children, as usual, were left to fend for themselves.
Jerome, how old are you?
9.
9. Do you go to school?
Yes.
Where do you go to school, Jerome?
At the Okeechobee Elementary School.
I see. What is your sister's name?
Lois,
That's Lois. And what are your other sisters' names?
Catherine, and Beulah.
Catherine and Beulah. What happened to your foot, Jerome?
Dig a nail in out there by the wash house.
So you drove a nail in out by the wash house. What did your mother do for that?
She put some alcohol on it
Where do you sleep, Jerome?
in his bed.
You have this big bed?
Yes.
What happened? How did you get that hole in that bed there, Jerome?
The rats.
The what?
Rats.
Now, Jerome, you are taking care of Kathy, of Beulah, and Lois.
Yes.
Now, are you going to give them lunch today?
Yes.
What are you going to feed them?
I don't know.
Do you have any food here to give them?
Yes.
What time does your mother come home?
I don't know.
Now, in previous videos, I told y'all that slavery is not what y'all think it was. And a lot of the so-called slaves or prisoners of war, as I like to say, because that's what our people was, prisoners of war. A lot of them were kids. So like I say, when you take the parents and the grandparents out of the home, when you take the parents and the grandparents out of the home, you can brainwash the kids. You can tell them whatever you want to, because now you're educating them. As you've seen, that was a labor camp, Okeechobee labor camp, housing authorities, aka the projects. And a lot of us still living in the projects, housing authorities, labor camps still to this day. And don't even know it. I told you that the projects and the ghettos ain't nothing but reservations for the darker Indians. While the $5 Indians and the mulattoes get our benefits and checks and lands and everything like that. But I'm going to get deep into the $5 Indians and the mulattoes later on in a whole nother video. But a lot of our ancestors were kids, just like that little boy, taking care of his sisters. And when he would go to school, they would teach him, you a Negro. Negro. They would call him a Negro, Negro, Negro. You a slave, you a slave, you a Negro. You brainwashing. So when that boy turned into a man, all he gonna know is, I don't know my culture, I don't know my heritage, I don't know my language. All I know is I'm a Negro.
Hold up. This is a picture of Johnny Cash's first wife. And this is who played her in the movie. This is a picture of his first wife. And this is who played her in the movie. This is a picture of his first wife now. And this is who played her in the movie. Now we got to talk about this. Why do white people keep doing this? What is their obsession with whitewashing history? What is it? They say they did the same thing with Mozart. They say they did the same thing with Beethoven. Now, my question is this. If they're willing to do this with entertainers, you don't think they would try to do this with religion? You see, white people want the black flavor, but they don't want to deal with the black.
Tell you something else, they whitewash too. Come on. And they done whitewash so much shit, dog. Ooh, they done whitewash so much shit. Hey, y'all ancestors been busy out this motherfucker, bruh. Y'all ancestors came out their motherfucking mountains with a fucking agenda. They came out them bitches with a mission, my nigga. They whitewashed a lot of shit. I'm gonna do a video on a lot of shit they done whitewashed too, and it's gonna blow your mind. A lot of these people, like Christopher Columbus, and King James, and King Charles, and all them folks, and all them folks. Hey, when they say Africans sold other Africans into slavery, they're not talking about, they're talking about Africa, but they're talking on a broader scale because they always called other darker people from everywhere Negroid, which means African. But I'm getting ahead of myself. These folks still whitewashing till this day. To this day, you heard me? That's all I want to say about that. I just wanted to put this in here just so y'all can look at this and see how far and how deep this rabbit hole go in this bullshit that they've been doing. And I ain't even gonna say it. Science for the conscious mind.
The American Colonization Society, right? So they brought the free slaves from the U.S. here, and some of them went back to Africa. Wait.
What have I always told y'all in my past videos? A lot of our indigenous ancestors got shipped to West Africa, South Africa. They got shipped to Europe. They got shipped to Ireland. That's where you get your Black Irish from. They were Caribbeans and North American Indians. Because Canada ain't that far from Ireland, believe it or not. You know what I'm saying? So, and I told y'all about, the African that I worked with, he never heard of no slave trade until he started going to school being indoctrinated. Why do you need to learn the history of your land when your ancestors been on that land since the beginning of time? You got your grandmama right there to tell you about your land, your history and all that. You feel me? But they got everybody brainwashed saying you need an education, you need to be indoctrinated to be a productive citizen of society trying to fit in. These folks ain't never heard no slave trade until they start going into American federalized school. That means that all their life growing up, they mama ain't never heard no slave trade, they grandmama ain't never heard no slave trade, they great grandmama ain't never heard no slave trade, and they great great grandmama ain't never heard no slave trade. Somebody lying around this bitch. And I'm gonna be 100. I'm gonna put my coins that the government is lying. Because the government always lies about shit. They be whitewashing shit. They be lying about shit. They be experimenting on shit. And it's crazy how much these folks be lying and y'all still be believing they ass. It's crazy. My people, a motherfucker in the hood lie to you one time, you cut their ass off. But the government can lie to you for hundreds and hundreds of years and y'all still hanging on to every word and going to vote for politicians who's lying to you and don't give a fuck about you. Come on, man. Japanese Americans got a bill passed quicker than we still fighting for equality, because we still fighting for that shit to this day. To this day. Come on, man. Science for the conscious mind. I dare anybody and everybody to go find them an authentic African and ask them, have your grandmother ever told you about the slave trade? They're going to say, hell no. Just like a lot of our grandparents and great-great-grandparents would tell you, baby, we wasn't slaves. Baby, we ain't Africans. We are Blackfoot, Indigenous Americans. We Cherokees, we Seminoles, we Yamasees, we Incas, Aztecs, Mayans, we Chickasaws, we Seminoles, we the Shinanooks. You feel me? Tianos, we Arawak. Come on. Science for the conscious mind. Just roll these last couple of clips and I'm going to cut it short, you heard. And in closing, this is why I said that just because you're light skinned, that don't mean you got white people in your blood. That's old pseudoscience bullshit to further push their agenda. Facts. Light skinned people, aka red bones or yellow bones, back then you would be considered red. I would be considered red. Red is just another form of copper, bronze, brass. That's all it is. It's just a different shade. That's why I said that if you ever notice when you bleed and the blood dries up, it turns what color? That red is very close to the color brown, and that brown is very close to the color. Everything they told us has been a lie. It's been in reverse. It's been falsified. It's been fake. They did it just to keep our land. A lot of y'all be like, well, what is the purpose of lying to us about our identity? Who runs shit? They got our land, bruh. Our resources, bruh. Our farms, our benefits, our laws, our country, our territory, our heritage, our culture, our language, our hidden history, our hidden knowledge. Fuck you mean? What is the purpose of lying to us? These folks came over here with one thing in their mind: to take the land by any means necessary. Well, how we gonna get the line? How we gonna get our shit back, Los? Fighting for peace is not a peaceful battle. And one day y'all understand that. Because we've been marching for damn near 60 years, and we've been protesting damn near for 60 years, and we've been begging and begging for equality and justice and shit like that. We've been begging people who don't give a fuck about us to give us rights that they know damn well, you know damn well they not gonna give you. That's like asking your ops for justice, nigga. That's like asking your ops for freedom, nigga. And this is why they call you a nigga. Because the definition of nigga is an ignorant person. And the definition of an ignorant person is somebody who don't know. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is why we in the predicament we in now. You better gain some knowledge and get that power. Anybody that tell you ignorance is bliss don't want you to have knowledge, because knowledge equals power. Y'all better wake up. Science for the conscious mind. I hope y'all enjoy this. Like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you can be notified when I upload more dope contents. And I got more videos coming for y'all tomorrow. Saturday, I'm going to post the last video maybe. And then, you know, I might do a little memorial video for all the, you know what I'm saying, for my pops and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But we'll see what tomorrow brings. So with that being said, vibrate high, vibrate on the law of vibration, peace, prosperity, abundance, gratitude, gratefulness, appreciative, love, caring, nurture, vibrate high, protect your energy at all costs. There's too many energy vampires out here, narcissistic people out here in the world. Hey, you a star seed, you a chosen one, you heard me? And we out.
Fortunately, no one can be told what the Matrix is.